Thank you for joining this on Sunday morning, and thanks for Rajendra for this opportunity, for giving me opportunity to speak in this series. And Rajendra is one of the person who's also helping me out in the current series, which we are doing Fabric Global, the Fabric Data Days, where we are also going to share you how can you get DP600, DP700 or DP800 vouchers. I think Rajendra is also part of the DP800 series, which is ongoing on Reactor, where you can get ahead and get the knowledge how to get DP800 certified. So with this, I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully you will be able to see it soon. Let me share my screen. And now today I have only one screen, so a little bit of switching between the screens would be there. It would not be a smooth experience today. Just give me a second. I'm just going to make sure that I have minimum number of windows so that we can easily focus. So here I go, screen one, share. Okay, and we go to the PowerPoint. Hopefully the PowerPoint is visible, and let me minimize the Teams. Am I audible, clear? PowerPoint is visible?
Yes, Amit. Please proceed.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. So thanks everyone for joining. My name is Amit Chandak. I'm a data platform MVP, Microsoft Community super user. I'm a YouTuber with the channel with my own name, and I also have a website biworld.in. I have recently modified it using AI, and you can see now you will be able to see the content. They are a little more organized content from 1,000+ videos I have on my YouTube, which you'll be able to see. I also work as a chief analytics officer at Canerica, and if you want to connect me, I have given the LinkedIn link here, as well as you can find my LinkedIn and YouTube link. I have a Power BI video where I have more than 300,000 views, and thanks for all those who have supported on that video. Also, other than that, thanks for supporting 2.5 million views. I'm assuming now it crossed 3 million, and for having 30,000 followers on LinkedIn. And thanks for that, all of those who are following me on the LinkedIn. Now, when we are talking about MCP server, now MCP server is not a concept which is little old, which it's there for some time, and we are using it for now quite some time. But the thing here is basically today when we are talking about MCP server, we are more bothered about, or we are more concerned about using it using the copilots. So GitHub Copilot, or using it with help of Codex, or using it with help of Cloud Code. And when this era, when you are automating everything by either using MCP server or either using Codex or cloud, one question always comes to our mind: is GPTs of the world, or is the AI of the world is going to replace us, or is there how we are going to survive in this era? So I always have a simple answer to that: that if GPT codes for you your vision, you will rise with innovation. So if GPT is just an acronym you can say here, but if GPT or Codex or Claude Code or maybe Gemini is coding what is your vision, then you are going to survive, because then they are working for you. But if you're simply asking every code from them, and then you are working for GPT's creation or your Gemini's creation or Claude's creation, then automation can replace it. So while we are talking about a lot about AI, a lot of AI cost and all these things are just temporarily in this particular era. So as you know, when cloud came in, this was the same debate: cloud cost is high, cloud cost is this, and then ultimately now everything is on cloud. Similarly, there would be a debate for few days or few years that okay, AI cost is higher, AI costing more than human, but one fine day all the automations where we don't need human intervention will be taken care by AI. So it's there, it's going to stay. All these things will fall in place in coming few years. So we have to be prepared, we have to change. And in this series on the Microsoft Fabric, we have this integration using MCP server, which I'm going to discuss today, which is my topic also. But just for everybody's reference, I'm just want to iterate what is Microsoft Fabric. So Microsoft Fabric is an end-to-end data platform, and now I stopped using the term analytics along with it. We are calling it complete data platform, because we have OLTP engines, we have OLAP engines, we have document DB, we have real-time analytics, everything which you need from the development of the sources, from then to transform and making report available, everything which you need is available with Fabric. And now we also have the AI enabled toolkits available along with Fabric, where you can develop the UIs also. So that is why it is end-to-end data platform designed for enterprise that require unified solution. This unified solution is for all data needs, from the capturing as for the transaction to make it available for data engineering and data analytics and data science. Everything is you can do in this one single platform. It encompasses of data movement, processing, ingestion, transformation, real-time routing, and report building. It offers you a comprehensive suite of services including data engineering, data factory, data science, real-time analytics, data warehousing, and databases. And databases is really important because when you want to develop transactional UIs or transactional data uh, services, then we need databases. We can't rely on warehouses. We can't rely on lake houses. We need something where we can, insert, update, and delete at a very high speed. And that's where Microsoft Fabric is in complete comprehensive suite, from OLTP to OLAP, from small data to big data, from batches to real-time analytics. Everything what you need is available in this single platform. Now, you might have heard about Model Context Protocol. It is available for quite some time. MCP servers are very famous in the Power Platform world and all other places. But yes, because we are kind of front-end development driven people who are actually prefer to develop their content, especially the data analytics content from the front end. Like if I'm a Power BI developer, I have Power BI desktop, I'm going to go build my model, I'm going to have all the UI commands along with me, low code, no code, Power Query, DAX, I can use, write down formulas, maximum, that's the coding I'm going to do. And then I have, drag and drop, which creates my visuals and I just place them. Similarly, in Fabric, most of the things we do drag and drop, other than writing down the code on our PySpark notebooks, or maybe sometime in Dataflow Gen 2, the custom code. But also for that, we have now copilots which can do job for us. So now comes the next step where we are saying that in era when you can do everything using NLP, when you have the copilot which is individually working for your, let's say, notebook, it is also working for Dataflow Gen 2. It's working for your SQL Analytics endpoint. Why can't we do the complete development from creation of workspaces, lake houses, warehouses, development of notebook, pipelines, Dataflow Gen 2? Can we do all those things together? And that is where MCP server comes in. Now, not everything what you need might not be available in MCP server. And then what you can do is you can combine it with Azure CLI interface, and you will be able to get further more facilities which you can do. Now, MCP server keep on updating, so you can, as and when it comes in, you can keep on updating it, and then you get the newer and newer functionality to it. Now, this MCP server can work with VS Code. But I'm telling you, it is not only the place where it's going to work. We have tested it out with Claude Code as well as Codex. And it works amazingly with that. We have gone up to the extent where we have combined the Jira board, or you can say DevOps board, in case we use Azure DevOps a lot. So we have combined the Azure DevOps board. We combined the MCP server. We are now combining the Fabric skill with that. And plus we are having this MCP server. So Fabric skill I'm going to talk in a few minutes. We are combining all these and now creating an ecosystem where we are only talking in natural language. So I will ask my command prompt or my language prompt or agent, the Codex agent or the Claude agent, that get this ticket and get me the development done. Now it will plan, it will showcase me that, and it will execute. So all these things are happening at one place now. And that is where MCP server of Power BI and MCP server of Fabric hold a lot of importance. In today's demo, we are going to use MCP server with Microsoft Fabric. I have already searched out about the Fabric skill and I tried that it automatically installed it without me coding about it, because I am really not very comfortable working with VS Code, being from a Power BI background. So I'll tell you what did I ask VS Code to do and how it automatically installed the Fabric skill. And we'll also test out, is it really able to use that Fabric skill in some of those decisions by using the MCP server. So what is MCP server? It's a model context protocol, enables AI agents, and you can work with VS Code's Copilot to interact with the data platform. It's natural language and data action driven, works with Fabric and Power BI, and enables agentic analytics. Why MCP server for Fabric? AI native data platform experience, faster development using natural languages, work across Fabric workload, enhance productivity with Copilot and VS Code. Now, types of MCP servers. One is Power BI modeling with MCP local and its semantic model, remote Power BI MCP server cloud, Fabric MCP server local plus remote. Okay, so you can install it locally. You can also use the remote one. Then architecture overview, how does it work? So AI agent, VS Code or Copilot, like in other cases where I said, okay, I have integrated it with let's say Claude and everything, that could be your AI agent also. Then it goes to MCP server, local or remote, Fabric, Power BI semantic models. Either Fabric means you can have everything, lakehouse, warehouse, whatever it can do, and enable natural language queries on DEX or slash the actual queries which is running in the backend. Now, remote server, what is remote server? Hosted endpoint in Fabric. URL is api.fabric.microsoft.com. Used for querying semantic models and support DEX and generation and insights. Local MCP server, run locally on VS Code, works with Power BI Desktop and Fabric, used for model editing, ideal for development scenarios. What are the Fabric MCP server capabilities? Access Fabric APIs, explore dataset, query data, automatic workflows, and build agentic solutions. Now comes the Fabric skill, which is recently, it has been declared in build, and I'm also trying to experiment with this. And the first time in a demo, I'm going to use the Fabric skill and try to use the Fabric skill basically and see whether we are going to get some answers using Fabric skill also. So basically, skills contain the best practices to use in your AI coding. So a Fabric skill is a package set of instructions, API pattern, and best practices that an AI coding tool loads on demand. So basically, if I want to create, let's say, workspace, if I want to create lakehouse, it will have that best practices. How should it do? Each skill encodes the right APIs and CLI for Fabric workload, workload specific authentication and token audiences, query patterns and schema conventions, and end-to-end recipe for scenarios like medallion architecture, migrations, and diagnosis. So it can help in that. So we'll try to understand if the Fabric skill is installed completely or not, or how do we install, all those things we'll see. Instead of hoping your co-pilot with guesses the right endpoint or invent a token audience, you will give it a determined Microsoft authored guidance. So it is basically what Microsoft is saying, okay, this is the path you have to follow. If you want to create a lakehouse, follow this standard. If you want to create medallion architecture, follow this standards. So, or follow this path to do that. All this is already available. So you don't have to do it, just have to search the skill, load it and use it. Without Fabric skill, an agent generate possible looking code that calls the wrong endpoint, misses authentication, or scaffold architecture that doesn't match how Fabric item works. The developer corrects the AI instead of moving fast. So what would happen? It may go possibly search on internet, or based on the knowledge, it may generate it. It's left to the agent. But here now we have the set of instructions. So what happens? Let's say you want, how to understand these examples. So let's say you are doing a Power BI project. You are a developer, think yourself as an AI agent. Now you need to do Power BI got a Power BI project and you don't know many things, you don't know about the architecture, what you will do typically in a non-AI era? You will go to a Fabric or Power BI expert in your team and ask him, the let's say Power BI architect, okay, how should I do it? He will tell you the steps. Okay, first of all, you have to create these many workspaces. These are the development workspaces. These are the QA workspaces. These are the production workspaces. These are the items you should create. You should have your code. This code in data flows. This code should be in semantic model and all those. This architecture it will give. It's the same way the skills are going to work. So skill is going to direct the agent. Okay, this is how you should perform. So it is that role which is getting here, and now we have even GitHub has more skills where even you can plan little better. So all such skills which are coming in and you think they can add value to your current MCP server, you can go ahead and play around. Now probably it will be going to be GitHub Copilot where this all skills is going to add, and then it is also going to use MCP server along with that. That is what we have to do. Now with Fabric skills authored by Microsoft skills comes from the Fabric workload teams. When API changes, the skill changes. It's composable. It install full plugin bundle, a focused plugin bundle like authoring for consumption, a single skill. Open the repo is open. The repo is MIT licensed. File issues, send pull request, or layer your own organization specific skill on top. So you can add, let's say you developed a better skill. You said, okay, my skill could be better than this Fabric skill. Then you can also do all those changes in your agentic AI framework. So what we are going to do is I'm going to show you the setup of. So this is what planned for today. I'm going to show you the demo of the MCP server in VS Code. We are trying to connect. If we get the time, we are going to also touch on the Power Query, generating DAX, and explore inside. But probably will not get the time for next 3. We will try to see as much as we can cover. So with that, I would like to jump onto my Power BI. And before I can go ahead and work on my Power BI, I will first of all want to search what is this MCP server and how do we install it. So first of all, what is Fabric MCP server? You can search it out. You will get more details. This is the place you get all the details. You will be there. Now, when you go to the VS Code is something which people in the development use a lot. You can have your plugins here. You can go to the extensions and search for MCP server. And here, if you see, I have already installed Microsoft Fabric MCP server. Okay, I can disable it. It's already installed, so I can uninstall it or install specific version, or I can click on auto update. Just 1 second. Okay, so if you have VS Code, you can install it. Now, once you install, this is what I already done. If you want the Power BI modeling MCP server, you can also install it. If you can see, this is also installed in my case. Now you can hide all the plugins here, and you can then open a folder with the name empty folder. You can create, name it as an MCP server, or if you already have that one folder, you can do the open folder and open that folder. That I've already done. I'm going to hide all these. And where is the folders? Explorer. Okay. So this is my MCP server, which I already created a folder, and then all the things are there. Now I was not knowing how to use the AI skill, and this is the previous session I have installed the Fabric skill. So I again went to the internet and I searched for Fabric AI skill, and it taken me to the GitHub. I was not knowing how to install it. It has given some instruction, and I said, who's going to understand this, how to install it? So what I done is I copied this and I went ahead and asked the Copilot itself. If you see here, I'm using the Copilot. Right now I'm using Sonnet 4.5. I can use 4.6 or I can use Opus. Now depends on how much credits is available with me. So you can see how much credits I have for GPT-5, input credit, cache credit, output credits, then Sonnet and all those. Okay. All those things are available. So I'm using Sonnet 4.5 right now. Then I had and given an instruction, install Fabric skill using this one. And then it is installed. Now So I give an instruction like this: install fabric skill instruction given at. And I also told, okay, it should work with my MCP server, all those I've given. Now let me check is, now because it's already installed, I want to check, are you able to access fabric skill? Let's check out, is it able to access fabric skill? And let me do one thing, because I don't think you are interested in seeing what extension we have. We will see in case we need it. Okay. So available fabric skill creator, fabric skill reviewer, fabric notebook agent, and many fabric tool. Okay. So do you have a skill on warehouse? We are checking this. Okay. It is not talking about warehouse. So do you have a skill on fabric warehouse? Okay, so available related tools is MS tools, connect to fabric warehouse, fabric platform, MCP server tool, OneLake. So I don't have dedicated fabric skills currently, but however, I have these capabilities. So these are things which I have already installed. So now don't think that VS Code is only working on one thing. Specifically, if you need something, you can push it, or you can in your the agent in your agent configuration files, you can go ahead and add that. But I have already given that job also to the fabric skill. Okay, so we'll ask, it talked about notebooks, and we did talk about Medallion architecture. What is the correct way to import data and create gold layer based on fabric skill? I'm forcing it that it should use fabric skill. Sometime because I have multiple things available here, I'm just making sure that it uses the right set. Or I can give a previous instruction, use fabric skill unless ask for it. Something. So fabric skill I have about creating and reviewing skill themselves, not the data engineering workflows. So it seems like it is not getting installed. So if, let's say, if do we have a skill there or not? So what we can do is, if we go here, see install GitHub Copilot CLI, and then install the bundles, authorizing API, consumption, querying discovery, operation diagnosis, Power BI authoring, semantic models, and workflows skill. Then, so these are the skill. We have fabric skill, fabric authoring, fabric consumption, fabric operation, and Power BI authoring. So these are the skills only we have right now, which are available by it. So that is why it is not able to find that, or is not able to support that. Or further, we can go inside the skills and check it out. Is there? So there is a Medallion architecture skill. Okay. So what we are going to do is, let's copy this. So it has given me the best practices and everything. Let me see. Do you have the skill given at? I don't know how to install this. I'm just asking if do you have this skill? So it's fetching the skill. Okay. And now what is saying? Approve tool result fetched, allow once. So skills are typically the MD files. Okay. Now you have the additional skill. Now, is it for the session or is it complete? We need to ensure this. Okay. So can you install this skill for future use and make sure I can use that with Fabric MCP server. I don't know how to install. So I'm leaving it to the agent. So I will install E2E medallion architecture skill locally and configure it to use with MCP server. So do we right now know what all is required to do this? I think some of you might be working on the agents and how to install the, the various skills, how to update its files, the setting files, or the configuration files. But I am one who is not very familiar with how the agentic AI works. So what I am doing is I am using this agentic framework itself to enhance these skills. So this is how it becomes easier. And while it is installing, can someone check and let me know if there are any questions which I can answer? Or maybe if you need the link, I can give you all these links, but are typically usually easy to search. And that's why I these days what I'm doing is I'm giving you the exact search. How can you search and get it?
No question,
Any
sir. You can
questions?
proceed.
Okay. So it's
No question, sir.
analyzing.
You
Let
can
it
proceed.
analyze. Let it analyze. Right now, I'm not going to install, but what you can do is, as a next step, you can go a page before and you can check, do you have all these skills? See, we have a skill for, SQL authorization, SQL DB consumption, SQL operations, Snap migration. We have a skill for Snap migration. We have Power BI design, Power BI authoring, Power BI management, search consumption, event stream, activator. For all of them, we have skills. And it might not have all the skills because it might have got for very first page, found out the skills and installed it. So what you can do is you can give that instruction and make sure, okay, I need to keep the changes. I think it's waiting for that. Keep. So it's changing .copilot -instruction.md. It's created that. Now it is processing. And while it's doing so, let's see what all we have. We continue this. So we have for activator, check updates, Databricks migration, data flow authoring, data flow consumption, data flow save as authoring CLI, E2E Medallion architecture, event authoring, event house authoring, event house consumption, Fabric IQ, HD insights, pipeline migration, Power BI report authorization, design management, planning, search consumption, CLI, semantic model authoring consumption, Spark authoring CLI, Spark consumption, Spark operation, DW authoring consumption, operations, and Snap migration. So all these are there. We are going to wait it for this one to complete. Okay, so read MCP server, read skill, perfect. Let me also verify skill.mt was created correctly. Read E2E medallion architecture and all those. So now I want to create, and what happens, I observed in the past that whenever I create my workspace, the capacities are sometimes not assigned as I want. So I'll go to one example workspace. This is my example workspace, which is using the trial capacity. Let me note down the name. Okay. And sometimes it is not that, the reason is not that I cannot ask it to create on a particular capacity, but I just wanted to make sure that because in this demo, I don't want it to wait too long. So I just wanted that it uses the capacities which I want quickly. So I'm going to note these two down. And what instruction I want is create a new workspace. This one, and use capacity. Okay, let's see, can it do it? Now, the Fabric skill might not have a create workspace. I do have a CLI for that. Okay, so let's see what happens. So before we do that, let's go back what it has done. Workspace and lakehouse operation, notebook creation and execution, pipeline orchestration, lake One lake data access, Power BI semantic model creation, MCP integrations are all these. Multiple workspace patterns, bronze, silver, gold, complete flow execution, create, deploy, and verify, data quality enforcement, optimization guidelines, Power BI migration, pipeline orchestration. So these are the things right now we have. Now we ask you, can you create a workspace? And usually we have a demo, like we fetch the workspace. So I can do that. Fetch my 10 workspaces. I don't want everything because it's going to take a lot of time. So I just want to fetch my workspaces, and sometimes you can commit spelling mistakes. Not worry about it. That Copilot is going to take care of that. So now we are trying to get the 10 workspaces. Now I don't know what is the REST API for that, even for that matter. Now in the olden days, what would have happened? We would have searched for the REST API, and we would have found what are the arguments we need to give, isn't it? And then we need to have our authorization sorted out, either SSO or service principal based, and then we need to do that. Okay. So now it is trying to get, okay, I got the workspace list and let me read it. Okay. So these are my workspaces. So some 10 workspaces it has given. Now I would like to see create a workspace. Prefer MCP server and fabric skill. See, I don't see direct workspace creation. Okay. Okay. So now it is asking me to push this command, and probably think it is the REST API command using the CLI. I will check it out if it doesn't. And then what I'm going to, let's allow this one by one as of now. And later on when we run little bigger command, then. So it has failed. Now it is analyzing that response. Okay. Now it is trying the PWSH command. Again, it's a bad request. I think it should ultimately go to Azure CLI. If, yeah, now finally it is running the Azure command from Azure CLI command. This one also failed. Something, some authentication problem is there. Let's see. So first it found the capacity. Now again it's trying, now this time with the resources method. This is again a bad request. Let's see. This time I force it using the MCP server, and then now it is slowly, when it's failing, it's trying the different options. Okay. Now it has done that. And what is saying this is the workspace, this is the workspace ID, description, capacity assignment completed. So it was not able to create, I think probably using the capacity. We can ask him what finally worked for you, and you can keep that for the future reference. And this is the URL for my this one. See, it is also giving that. So let's copy this and we can directly paste here. I think it did not paste it correctly. What? Okay, sorry. Probably I should do like this. So we validate. We don't trust, that okay, something has been told to us. We would definitely want to go ahead, validate the name, the capacity. Okay, so I can see 002 fabric data days, June 2026. We are not doing fabric data days. We are doing a demo for this session. But yes, I'm running a parallel series, which Rajendra talked about in the morning. So it did not assign that capacity, isn't it? You can see it still is the Power BI Pro. So we'll go and manually now assign it. Sometime it may happen, or you can further go ahead and force it. that, okay, use this capacity. So we can use any one of these capacity in central India. I think which one we wanted? FQ. So that is why it is really important to check. The message was there, but still the assignment did not happen properly the way we wanted. Okay, so there could be a false message. So now we corrected. Now it is asking, following E2D Medallion architecture, you create separate workspaces in the single workspace pattern. Raw data ingestion, this one. So we'll say option 2, isn't it? So we'll ask it to, option 2. So let's do this. Create lake houses as per option 2. Okay, let's see. So it's asking about 3 lake houses. Now see, this is the advantage of skill. You created a workspace, it's automatically guiding you to the next steps. Plan the lake house creation using the single workspace pattern. Let's see. So for first time, I think in a demo, I'm using this. Let's see. So it's an error. Failed to acquire the authentication token. It's just identifying the reasoning for that. Again, I think it's going to use the, I think my authentication has expired. That's what seems to me the reason. Okay, seems like somewhere MCP server is not working. We'll figure that out. Okay. Okay, so we have bronze, silver, and gold. But what I'm observing that it is not able to authenticate my MCP server. So let me do re-auth MCP server. Okay, so I think Control Shift P is terminal. Control Shift P, and it is asking for developer reload window. Let's wait. It should open that pop-up. I'm expecting it should. I'll do a sign in. And let me see if I can change the model. Let's see. Okay. So if you have a doubt, like it will restart the VS Code and reinitialize the authentication. Okay. So probably it will re-authenticate. Now we have created a lake house. Now we would like to see, can it create data flow Gen 2? So just search it out. Can you create data flow Gen 2 using MCP server? Okay, so it says it can create. So what I want here is basically not like simply like this. So I have this GitHub repo, and in the GitHub repo I have this. So I'm just seeing how far it can go. So we just wanted to make sure how far it can go. So that's the testing we are going to do. So I have this sales data.xls and sales data used in Fabric. There should be one more. Sales data for Fabric. And I'll go here, raw copies link. I'll ask it create data flow Gen 2 using MCP server and get data using web API. I'm giving ideally it should use that and save it to bronze destination already created by you. Or we can give the bronze name. Now let's. We want to see all what all it can create. So we are giving a longer flow. Let's see it can plan out or not. Allow session. Data flow Gen 2 created by MCP server. Now I need to ingest actual M web source Excel parsing bronze lakehouse destination. Let me face the current destination. Okay. So now here it is using the Azure CLI. So if you don't want it, then don't install the Azure CLI. Now what is happening here is it's running this command and in trying to ingest the date. So it created a local workload seems like and then trying to update it, calling update definition. We'll keep the changes. We'll allow it. Allow all commands in this session. Let's do it. Because otherwise we will not be able to finish all the things we want to do here. Now it is in just M query web Excel bronze layer. Okay. That's the next step. And let's see something is happening on our workspace meanwhile. Let's refresh it. So you can see already a data flow Gen 2 is created. And let's look at the recent runs. Is it having some code? Somebody has ran it or not? It's definitely automatic code could have done that. Okay, no refreshes. It means still it is in work in creation. Okay. So manual steps required. Open this one. Click on this edit. The sales data query is already there. Pick up the workspace, sales data, replace, save settings, publish, refresh now. So some of the steps need to be done manual. Okay, we'll go ahead, open this. Let's see what step has not happened. Okay, sales data is already there. Configure connection, connect. Okay, so now it has already added only added one. I'm not sure why and what we can do. Get data, more. Next, so I'm telling you exactly what step it has actually able to perform till now. So that's the one step. And typically, if it doesn't get the usual connection, then you're going to give that kind of problem. So not everything is, perfectly fine tuned right now. And I'm going to tell you one easy way to set all these destinations. So what we can do is set default destination. So instead of setting all the destination, I'm going to use set one default destination, add, and I'm going to go to Lakehouse. And this first time you might have to do authentication, press next. And now I saw this new thing, current workspace. Okay, this is something which is new thing came in very recently. See, by now we can get current space workspace like this, or you can go here and exclusively do it. But we go to the current workspace, we go to DBO schema, update method, replace the existing data, schema publish option. We'll use the update method, replace. Choose bind query to selected queries. Okay, so automatically you will see here information. If you want the perfect binding, you can go ahead and do it manually for each and every table. So that is done. And now we're going to use very small shortcut, save, run and close. Here it is data flow gen 2 with CI/CD. So save, close and run is something which I want to use now. So this is the manual step. It was not able to perform the activity which we have done now, like binding the destination. It means right now the REST API is not available to do that, or even if it is available right now via MCP server or CLI, it is not able to get that. So this is the human in the loop interaction. Now it has failed. Let's see why. Resend run. Okay, column data type. So this could happen. I'll tell you why this happens. Automatic one. We need to be a little careful. Go here. See, the data types are not correct here. What we have to do is select all the columns and transform data types, detect data types. Ideally, it should happen, but if it is not happening, then we have to go ahead and do this. See, it's not happening for all the tables. No, it did happen for this one. Okay, it did happen for the one we have added manually. Now we have to go here and let's see. If it doesn't work, we'll go ahead and manually do it. Save, close, run and close. Why I'm not doing the setting change? I want the setting to remain the default so that any columns adds in or anything happens, we don't have to go ahead and manually change it. So now what happens if it happens, we will ask it to create a silver layer and a gold layer. Okay. Meanwhile, if you have questions, you can unmute and ask. Just still trying this out. Okay. So we got this. I'm going to copy this name and I'll tell you the reason why. Now what I want here is I have sales, item, customer and geography. And where it is? So we have in bronze, lake house, move them to silver with clean data and follow fabric skill for naming. Create dimensions and fact in gold layer, and let's give that firsty. Link geography all SCD1. Okay. and fact. And I'm assuming it will be able to understand looking at the above data that what is the structure. Okay. Data loaded via bronze ingestion into this one. Create a full flow and using notebooks, and then finally add data flow gen 2 notebooks of silver and gold to that. I'm just giving some rough instruction, and let's put all of these here. Let's see how much it is able to understand. So now what we are doing is we already created a bronze layer data has been loaded using the data flow gen 2. It requires some manual work. We are done. Now we are asking it to create silver, gold, even the notebooks for that. We have not given instruction about any data types other than it should be an SCD1. Does it need to have surrogate key, not surrogate key? Let it figure it out. Asking me to sign in. I'm just stop sharing my screen. Let me sign in. I'll share my screen again. Hope you are able to see the screen again. Signed in. I was not signed in into the Fabric this one, so I did sign in now. So creating the silver notebook, okay. So it's running. I'm hopeful it's going to create it in, because I saw one place it's not sure about active workspace. So I'm hopeful that it's creating the correct workspace. Let's see. Otherwise, it should ask for that. So it's still working on the silver notebooks. Hopefully getting created in the correct workspace. So basically now I'm not even writing down the code. I have given an instruction where I'm expecting it to clean the data, create the star schema. Now, right now my tables are pretty simple, but I've seen you can write down little complex code also. But we are just testing it out that it does everything. It builds it, it sets the destination and everything. Is it able to add all those things? So we have to just check out that out. So silver layer, what it's doing. Okay, codes. This is the code it's trying to do sales fact items. Okay, geography, cleanup, validation. See all these things. Now it is building the gold layer. And if you want to look at the code while it is doing it, I can make it a little small and we can scroll through. So let's look at the code which it has created. Okay, so workspace ID, bronze base. These are the bronze base tables. See, automatically taken care of dynamic coding. Then Spark SQL import functions, data frame function, to snake case, normalize columns, trim strings, add audit, write to silver. Automatically it's showing everything. Now sales fact, gain transactions, sales bronze, read this, then normalize columns, sales, trim strings, natural candidate keys, natural keys, all taking care for these quantity, data types and everything, and all the testing is happening. And then finally dimensions, cleaning dimensions, validation and everything is happening. Okay, let's keep publishing the notebooks via REST API. So notebooks are getting created here and now we are publishing it. So I'm using the local version, not the remote version. You might have realized now. I have a local installed version of MCP server. Let's keep the changes. And what we can do is while it is doing it, you can also go at the workspace level and see is it doing something or not. See, already some workbooks are already created. Okay, sorry, notebooks are already created. We are not disturbing them right now. Let it complete the action. I have not went ahead and say use the new notebook, adding down the code to it. Nothing has been done. It's just we are giving instructions. So now you need to understand how data engineering works, how the things work more than how the code works. And if it errors, how can you go ahead and search it and find it? See, it's fairly possible, like there are very high chances that it doesn't have a skill or doesn't have the debugging skill when it happens. So that is the place where your intervention is needed. And for that, you definitely need to do a lot of searching and researching, that you should be able to fix those issues where it doesn't work. And it will keep on learning and improving itself. These skills and these MCP server APIs, error handling of via agent would keep on increasing, where we will be able to give these things. And right now it's showing so many instructions. These can run it in much faster manner if you mute some of those outputs. So is it creating pipeline? Now it seems like it's creating a pipeline. We'll see the code once it is done. So now you see, so bronze ingestion is this, and now it is even, I can see the pipeline, medallion, bronze, silver, gold. Okay, it's evaluating, completing the publishing of notebooks, REST API 4 of 5. See, the entire planning has been done. You can see I have given just set of raw instructions, and now it is telling me what all this it has done. Okay, it's giving me the names also. One manual step is required. Okay, what is that manual spec? Fabric REST API silently drops data flow gen to lakehouse destination. Binding these schemas isn't public stable, so the AM code is in place. You need to bind each of the 4 queries. Okay, trigger pipeline and then trigger the pipeline. Okay, let's go ahead and see what is happening here. So let's first of all go and look at this pipeline. So I don't know how to create pipeline. Fabric, MCP server, Azure CLI, Fabric skill all went together and done that for me using GitHub Copilot. So here I'm using GitHub Copilot. I have some credits, so I was able to use some of the paid models also. So here, if you see, I have this data flow Gen 2, and this is the setting where sometime what happens, you just need to refresh and check whether the connection is correct or not. So these days, what happens, we do need to have a connection for these things. So just go ahead and check that. Then we have a notebook. If you go to the settings, see, there is no connection here. Now for data flow Gen 2, so connection is basically, even to connect the notebook, you need to have a connection. And you can use the existing connection, or if it is not there, you can go ahead and notebook. Okay. So I've corrected the connections, and then it was asking me to check the data flow Gen 2. So let me open and see the configuration there or not. Okay, it has changed something, so it's not correct now. Let's see. Hopefully it opens up. So meanwhile, we can do is we can duplicate this tab, and we can see the notebooks. Let's not invest too much of time in that. So we go to the workspaces 02, close. I'm forcefully coming out because it's was not allowing me to do so. So let's look at these two notebooks and let the data flow Gen 2 open here on the first one. So first tab is opening data flow Gen 2. The third one is silver. Actually, the fourth tab. So NB silver, let's see what are the silver transformation we have, and then the gold transformation. So I think this is the code we have seen there. So it's doing some kind of validation, and let's look at the gold code, which we have not seen there. So it's doing some Spark configuration, order, optimize, enable, read, and everything. Then workspace, silver IDs. You can see there are no sources added, so we might have to add those sources here. And dim SCD1, dim SCD1, dim geography. And what we can do is we can add items here from OneLake catalog. In the Explorer, we can go ahead and use this. And then we can use the lake houses, the bronze, gold, and silver. I'm using the lake house one, okay? You can add those. Also, you can go into the other notebook and add from OneLake catalog, Explorer, my current workspace. This has recently changed, this Explorer UI. It has come here, and then we go to silver here. Okay, add. My probable assumption is it's going to work. Let's see, the data flow Gen 2 has not yet opened. I'm crossing it out. Close, and I don't found any way to close data flow Gen 2. So what we are going to do is we are going to go to that pipeline and disable data flow Gen 2 as of now, and see if we can simply run the pipelines. Otherwise, if that's not working properly, then we have to go ahead and manually do the correction. So I'm going to open this pipeline. Right now it's creating a lot of trouble with the data flow Gen 2. So I think probably I should not have given that first set of instruction. That data flow Gen 2 is already created. It tried disturbing the harmony of that one. So we'll disable this. So one of the ways, if I don't want to execute, I know my tables are correctly there, so I disabled it. And now let me validate this. It's correct, and let's run it. Save and run. So let's see, is it able to run that silver and gold? And I could have asked it to run, because once I've done all these changes, which are like manual connection mapping and adding of the lake houses and all those, which are some manual intervention still needed, I can pretty much go ahead and run it from the pipelines and even schedule it from my MCP server or my GitHub Copilot using either MCP server or this Azure CLI, as long as there is some REST API to do it or commandlet to do it. So it is running. We don't know. We have not even tested this code. We are just trusting the GitHub Copilot for that. So you can try out similar stuff with the Codex Studio or Cloud Code Studio, integrating MCP server, Fabric skill, and all those. So it did fail. Means we will see what error it gives. So it does require some attention. Okay. So what we can do is we can go ahead and fix all those things which are not correct. Let's say the workspace ID. We can check out if the workspace ID is not correct. So this is our workspace ID. This seems correct. Bronze Lake House ID, and then workspace ID, table name. What we can do is bronze. If you go here, so this is your bronze layer. Open this tables. You should be able to see the relative path here. Okay, copy path. I can. /table/customer seems like correct, isn't it? Okay, let's run it manually. Okay, did fail. Okay, the second one is still running, but I think it should not have run it. Or is it trying second time? Let's see. Okay, so finally the pipeline has failed. Now let's go here. Let's try to run this cell manually. So this one will work correctly. Now let's try out this. This did run correctly. Now let's try this. Okay, there is the exception coming in. So path not found. So some mistake is here. C5. Okay, so where did I write? Sales. Let's see. See, there is no sales. It's sales data. So somehow it missed out the name. See, if you see the name is here, not sales. It's bronze table sales is, and how come it worked till now? Okay, let me do one thing. Let me go ahead and use this sales data. Okay, let's execute this once again. Execute this one also. Now execute this. So there is some mistake committed. We went ahead. This is where the intervention is required now. It did ran and it entered, because if you see here, because we have given the table name, the table names are here changed a little bit. It's not able to identify those changes because it is not the one who's created bronze, silver, and gold. We created bronze separately, and then it was not able to connect that, and that's where the things have happened, not as planned, but now it has run. If you can see now further, let's go ahead and run it manually. So that is where that's what I told, the manual intervention, your knowledge. Now, if we would not have understood, we could not correct it. And that's where I say, while these tools can help you out, this can help. Now, again, there is one schema, the delta schema changes since analysis. Okay. So now again, see, it's trying the item, customer, geography, these things. the names have changed. So clean dimension, maybe probably it is trying. The names and the could be wrong. Let's see. Let's try to make it I capital, C capital, G capital, and the column names could also have an issue. Okay. If you open it, see city ID C capital, city, state, geography, location ID, all these things are a little different. Okay. So we might have to go ahead and do these name corrections. Or if you are in Copilot, you could have asked, okay, based on my names, you do the Copilot. Now, this is not a paid capacity, so I can't do it, but you can fix it. So all these changes now, you either with the Copilot and this one, and that's where table structure, naming, providing more information could have done a better job. So we can have a well-defined structures, table structures and everything. We could have got a much better idea. Now with this, I wanted to end, just wanted to show you that yes, it can generate the code. There might be certain help needed at time when we don't provide detailed instruction. It made some assumptions. So some of those names are, you see my item table actually doesn't have all these columns. It did make some assumption because I never provided it the structure. Now it doesn't have the structure based on not unprovided information. It did went ahead and created some structure. Okay, sorry, I'm here. I think bronze layer, yeah, in the bronze layer. So all these things you can correct. So providing better instruction could have done a better job. So with this, I think we'll end today's demo. But now you understand that Fabric MCP server, or even in case of Power BI MCP server, are pretty strong. A well-defined structures could get your things done. If they fail out, you can go ahead and further go ahead and do the changes and make it work. So a lot of work can be now left to the MCP server to automate all these things. So you don't have to go ahead and learn each and every aspect of that one. Some of these things you can get it done. With this, we will wrap up today's session. You let me know if you have some questions, I can answer those.
No, sir, no questions in the chat box.
Okay, then
I have
thank you everyone
posted,
thanks for joining. Shashi?
I have
No,
posted
sir.
next week link also, Amit, okay, in the chat, your YouTube link. So which will be get joined from there also, right? From Monday, right? You are getting
Yes,
started?
from Monday to Friday again, we will have
Yes.
the rest of the 5 classes.
Yeah, I posted the link there. So please check that YouTube link. So from Monday onwards, new concepts like RTA concepts again. So join there and get hands-on or learn something there. It's happy to be there. Yeah. Thank you so much, Amit, for participating and sharing your views on this MCP server. So, I mean, much glad to you. So, where you're presenting and morning time, early morning, and this time also. Thank you so much for this. Thank you.
Thanks, Rajendra.
Thank you all. Yeah. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. So, we'll meet up with the next set of sessions, which will be scheduled on July. So, looking forward to meet you all. Thank you. Thanks for your participation. Thank you so much.